Hello, everybody. Mark Levin here at the Washington Examiner. Census confirms 63% of non-citizens are on welfare. 4.6 million households. A majority of non-citizens, including those with legal green card rights, are tapping into welfare programs set up to help poor and ailing Americans. A Census Bureau finding that bolsters President Trump's concern about immigrants costing the nation. In a new analysis of the latest numbers from 2014, 63% of non-citizens are using a welfare program, grows to 70% for those here 10 years or more, confirming another concern that once immigrants tap into welfare, they don't get off of it. Oh, good Lord. The Center for Immigration Studies said in its report that the numbers give support for Trump's plan to cut non-citizens off welfare from the public charge if they want a green card that allows them to legally work in the United States. People come into this country to work in the United States. There's no way they should be able to get on welfare. The Trump administration has proposed new public charge rules making it harder for prospective immigrants to qualify for lawful permanent residence green cards if they use or are likely to use U.S. welfare programs. Now, folks, I don't know about you, but this is complete common sense. Concern over immigrant welfare use is justified as households headed by non-citizens use means-tested welfare at high rates. Non-citizens in the data include illegal immigrants, long-term temporary visitors like guest workers, and permanent residents who have not naturalized, while barriers to welfare use exist for these groups, While barriers to welfare use exist for these groups, the font is tiny, I'm reading it off the screen, it has not prevented them from making extensive use of the welfare system, often receiving benefits on behalf of U.S.-born children out of the Washington-based immigration think tank. The numbers are huge. The report said there are 4,684,784 million non-citizen households. That's not individuals, that's households receiving welfare. And nearly all 4,370,385 have at least one worker in the house. In their report, Stephen Camarata, the research director, and Karen Ziegler, a demographer at the center, said that in census data, about half of those are in the United States illegally. Illegal alien households on welfare. Now, what kind of suicide is it that we are committing here? Now, it's quite obvious by these numbers. In fact, for too many aliens, the American dream is the dream of being on welfare. And it was Milton Friedman who famously said, and I would tell this to the Koch brothers, who are absolutely ignoramuses when it comes to this, you cannot have open borders and a free flow of immigration when you have a massive welfare state. I would argue you couldn't have it anyway, but certainly if you're a libertarian, you should understand that. But they don't. Key findings. In 2014, 63% of households headed by a non-citizen reported that they used at least one welfare program, compared to 35% of native-headed households. So many of you who pay taxes, you're paying welfare for foreigners who are in this country illegally. Welfare use drops to 58% for non-citizen households and 30% for native households if cash payments from the Earned Income Tax Credit are not counted as welfare. But of course they're welfare. These are people who who file tax returns, who have no tax obligation, and in fact get a subsidy. EITC recipients pay no federal income tax, and like other welfare, the EITC is a means-tested anti-poverty program But unlike other programs, one has to work to receive it. I'm sure they know how to play that on the left, too. Compared to native households, non-citizen households have much higher use of food programs. 45% versus 21% of natives. And Medicaid, 50% versus 23%. Do you realize people who are here illegally or people who are here legally but aren't citizens yet are on Medicaid and food stamps? I mean, you kind of knew it, but when you say it, it's just shocking. And we can't even spend $5 billion to secure the border, but we'll spend tens of billions of dollars to subsidize illegal aliens? Including the EITC, 31% of non-citizen-headed households receive cash welfare, compared to 19% of native households. So what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is people who are here illegally or people who are here as non-citizens, even the broader group, are not assimilating into our market system. They're not assimilating into our economy. They're assimilating into the government handout system, and they're assimilating into the Democrat Party. This is exactly what's taking place. This is why Republicans have a death wish. And this is why the nation will be committing suicide, because I don't think we'll get it under control once Trump leaves office. After he's gone, that's the end of it. That's the end of it.
Mark Levin.